Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. So I didn't see you guys yesterday because I was traveling back from Michigan to Chicago to now I'm back in Colorado. So I'm home and happy to be home. I'm tired. Traveling always takes a lot of energy out of me, and my flight was really delayed yesterday, but I'm back now and all is well. So we are chatting tonight, Monday night, and I think this is going to be just a great way for all of us to start our week together. So I thought it'd be fun, every Sunday/Monday now, we talk about something different, and usually it's just like whatever pops into my mind that I decide that I'm going to share with you. And this week I was really reflecting on my desires and my vision for my life. Like, what do I want to feel like every day? How do I want to feel when I wake up in the morning? Like, what are these very core, as Danielle Laporte writes, core desired feelings or core desired emotions that you want in your life, right? And there's been these ties and similarities and synchronicities around that theme with me today, because we had book club discussion about 3 hours ago, and we're reading White Hot Truth, and we talked a little bit about your desires there. And then I had planned this whole little coaching out here for you all tonight, and then I listened to the Deepak and Oprah 21-day meditation experience, meditation for today, just a little bit ago, and it was all about your desires and your vision, and so everything's really synchronizing well for this theme today, so I really believe that it's meant for all of you. So I just want to open with, if you're here, say hi, let me know you're here. If you're listening to the recording later, comment, let me know you're listening, let me know what you think, and I'm going to have you actually comment quite a bit tonight. So if anyone's uncomfortable, of course, you can just write it in a journal. You could also do that. Otherwise, I encourage you to comment along, especially because then I can give you feedback, okay? So regardless if you're listening live or listening to the recording or listening to the YouTube later, I want to be able to coach you through a little bit of this, so put in your comment if you want that, okay? So I just want to open with a question, which is, what are you struggling with? What are you struggling with right now? What would you say is your biggest concern, your main challenge? What are you struggling with right now? Hi Alex, welcome. Happy you're here. So let's start to take inventory of that. What are you struggling with? And this can just be some rapid fire commenting into the comments, or if you feel more comfortable keeping it in a journal or on a piece of paper, that's fine too. But the first question for you is, what are you struggling with? Let's take inventory of that. And this can be a physical symptom of autoimmune disease, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe it's a financial struggle. Maybe it's a relationship struggle. Maybe it's anywhere in that emotional plane. Maybe it's an energetic thing, right? Maybe you feel fatigued when you wake up in the morning. What are you struggling most with right now? And let me know in the comments, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a second, and I'm going to pull this up on my computer. Sometimes I get more real-time comments on the computer than versus the phone. Okay, cool. So what are you struggling with? And if you have that pen and paper out, keep it out, because I'm going to keep asking you more questions tonight. My dog just came in the room. She wants to hang out for Monday Soul Chat too. Okay, so I'm going to keep going, and I want you guys to keep commenting. So now I want to ask you what desires you have. What do you want? So we wrote down, what are you struggling with, right? Now, what do you crave? What do you desire? What do you want in your life? It can be on a physical level related to putting autoimmune disease into remission or reversing autoimmune disease, right? And it can be the way that you feel on this physical level, but it could also be, this is what I want a house on at least 5 to 10 acres of land that feels like home, okay? And I want to own a farm, right? So like, what are the things you truly, truly desire? I'm done with apartment living. We're going to be here for another year. We re-signed our lease, but I'm ready to start manifesting and envisioning what that home looks like that we move to next, right? So what do you want? What desires do you have? Both on a, maybe materialistic level to some extent, but what are the things you want into your life? What are you calling in? What do you crave? What do you desire? Let me know. Comment in the comment box. Hope I didn't scare you guys away by making you interact with me tonight, all right? So these are going to be, especially if you do the work. Like, do the work, and then shit will happen for you. If you don't do the work, shit's not going to happen, right? So let's do the work together. So let's say that you put into the comments that you really wanted an Instant Pot, okay? I just got my first Instant Pot and I'm really excited about it. And that was something that I was wanting, okay? So why? Why, all right? What emotions or feelings does the Instant Pot create for you, okay? Or what were your things, right? So put in your examples, and I'm happy to coach you through this, but what do you want, and then why? Because we are really chasing the emotion, we're not chasing the thing, right? So even though you say I want a house on land with a farm, I want goats and I want chickens, right? But how is that going to make me feel on a deep soul level? Well, I think I am going to feel happy and excited and nourished. I love the idea of empowering myself to be able to grow my own food. I would feel safe and comforted and relaxed, right? Like in a place where I can really just like feel relaxed and safe and at home in order to like be my best self and feel most energized, right? So, and I also love entertaining people, so I think it'll be really fun to entertain in that space. I'm going to shut my blinds a little bit because the sun is going down here. Okay, that's better, right? Okay. So, why? What emotions is that thing that you want actually going to create for you, okay? Look on a deeper level because we are chasing these emotions. We're not truly chasing the thing and the stuff, right? So it's like money. We don't actually want the money. Money is just paper. It's completely neutral energy. We want the feeling that money gives us when we have it. So maybe you have an extra $500 that I'm going to give you right now. I wish I could give you all $500. So I give you $500. Well, it's not that you want $500. It's that you want either the thing that you're going to buy with that $500 or the feeling of having $500. How does that $500 make you feel? Maybe it makes you feel safe. Maybe it makes you feel excited. Maybe you're going to go fix your what would cost $500 to fix something on your car so then you can go to work or you can go to the beach, right? Like, it's that you can take that money and then either do something that makes you feel happy, excited, etc., right? Positive emotion, or it's that just having that extra $500 brings us an emotion. So it's not the paper money, it's the emotion that it brings to us, okay? So I want you to look at this list of emotions that you have now, right? That come from the things that you crave and desire. And I want you to scan that list, and I want you to just look, is there anything on that list that you don't feel worthy of, okay? Is there anything that sticks out to you and you're like, yeah, I want to feel abundant, or I want to feel happy, or I want to feel loved, or inspired, right? Like, but do you feel unworthy of any of those things? So maybe you wrote that you want to feel energized, but you don't feel worthy of being energized, right? What would being energized actually do for you? What about love, right? So like if you wrote down something on your list that would then bring you the feeling of love, and you look at that and you scan it and you say, well, I want it, but I don't feel like I can ever have it, or I don't feel worthy of this thing, right? So what is the story that you are telling yourself about why you can't have it, right? And of the story of why you'll never have it, okay? So I want you to take a second here and do the work, right? If we just listen tonight and don't actually reflect on ourselves, you're not going to leave with much, right? But if you do the work, you're going to leave with some sort of shift, right? It might be like this tiny little shift, but you'll leave with some sort of shift, right? Alex says, I feel ready to be loved, but I feel it's hard with my disease and anxiety. Perfect. So whatever you desired, right? Maybe it was a material thing, and that thing makes you feel loved, right? And then that feeling of love then, as you scan your list, sticks out because it's something that you might not feel like you're completely worthy of, and you just answered, because I have autoimmune disease and I struggle with anxiety, right? So there's a story that you tell yourself when you, it's like that you can't have the love, right? Because we have this story stuck in our mind, which is that if I have anxiety or if I have autoimmune disease, I'm not worth loving, or I will never have love, or it'll be too hard to love me, right? We tell ourselves these crazy stories. So I want you to write down that little story, right? What is the thing that you tell yourself that holds you back from having these things that you desire, that you crave in your life? So write down your story, like Alex has here, right? Is her because is, I feel it's hard with my disease and anxiety, which is a completely valid emotion, right, to have, but it's also not true, because Alex, you are 100% worthy of massive, abundant love, but there's this story that we tell ourselves that we're holding ourselves back from it, right? Because we're all worthy of love, no question about that. So now we have this story, and I want you, just like I did a little bit there, to ask yourself, is it true? So Alex's story is not true, right? There's a completely valid reason that she has created this story and why she might feel like the anxiety, because I've experienced this too. I'm sure many of us have. Like when I experience anxiety, I feel like a burden to people sometimes, right? But it's just a story I'm telling myself. I have to ask myself, is this true? So Alex, I want you to ask yourself, is this story true? And answer for all of our stories, and sometimes our bullshit, right, is no, it's not true, right? It's just, sometimes it's subconscious, sometimes it's limiting beliefs, sometimes it's the way that we are raised, or the past experiences that are now impacting future experiences. It's what society tells us, it's what we do when we compare to people, right? It's all BS. It's not true. There's still, again, valid reason that we have created this story, but today, let's just get rid of that, right? Like, we don't need that energy. So let's start to think about how you can have it or experience these emotions. So in the example of I started talking about the Instapot, right? So an Instapot maybe is something you want, right? And it's going to draw out, so why? Why do I want the Instant Pot? I don't want an Instant Pot just because I want this metal huge thing. It's really big. We've had to put ours in our closet. It's so big. So it's not that I just wanted this Instant Pot. It's that my why was that I wanted to save time and that I wanted to feel emotion. What is the emotion behind that desire? That I wanted to feel like I could make healthy meals fast. Okay? So there's the emotion, and now I have to ask myself, do I feel worthy of, is there any limiting belief around me feeling like I can do something quickly, or that I can feel nourished? Maybe I have a limiting belief about the ability to feel healthy, right? Maybe I have a limiting belief that I will never be healthy, I can't be healthy, and so I'm not going to do things or purchase things that then make me feel like I can be healthy, right? So then I have this story behind that of like why I can't ever have it, right? Maybe I don't have enough money. Maybe I don't have enough time, right? You tell yourself these stories that just completely aren't true. If you want to have an Instant Pot, you can afford an Instant Pot. If you want to have time to cook for something in an Instant Pot, you will have time. You'll make the time. You'll prioritize the time, right? And so we have to ask ourselves, is that story true? No, it's not true. I'm just it's a little bit of self-sabotaging, right? I'm self-sabotaging myself from being able to get something that is then going to create a feeling and emotion in my body that I crave, that I desire, that I want in my life, and that is healthy, right? So let's start to think about how we can have it. So Alex, for you, this emotion of being loved, feeling loved, right? So in that case, I would ask that you start with yourself, and you would start with self-love, and focus on that first, because once we love ourselves, then it's so much easier to feel worthy and deserving of love. You are right now, but it's going to be easier to accept love from others once you love yourself. So your first step, I think, would be to start with the self-love, and I don't know where you are in that. You can comment and let me know. I'm happy to coach you more on a tailored way if you just let me know. But how can you have this feeling of love, this desired emotion of love, okay? What are some of the things we can do? So again, I would encourage you to start with self-love. What are some of the things you can do to induce feelings of self-love? Well, when do you feel like you love yourself the most? Maybe it's in the bathtub. And so maybe an action you can take towards self-love is taking a bath twice a week, okay? Or once a week, right? Whatever feels good for you. Maybe you feel like you really love yourself after you went to a yoga class because you did something that was just for you and was loving for your body on a physical and mental level, right? So one action towards self-love is going to a yoga class once a week. What are some of the things that we can do to experience that emotion, right? And let's go back to the Instant Pot example, right? So what is one thing I can do to have it, right? On a physical level, right, like getting the actual Instant Pot, but on the emotional level, I talked about how it would make me feel like I freed up time and that I was able to nourish my body in a quick and easy way, right? So how can I have it? Well, my limiting belief was that I couldn't afford it, or that I'm not worthy of health. Well, I could start saving money. I could start manifesting money and working with law of attraction. So there's a really physical, like actionable way to start doing that. And on an emotional level, I can rewrite the story and I can say, you know what, I am worthy of health. 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 I am worthy of feeling nourished and full and whole, right? Starting to rewrite some of those beliefs. Alex says, I try and do little things for myself every day. I love going to yoga, meditating, and cooking special meals every day. I try to journal as well, but miss days. Yeah, perfect. So those are the things that you do for self-love, right? That are nice to yourself, that are loving towards yourself. And they can be even the little tiny things, right? It might just be writing like one mantra down on a sticky note that day, but it was something that you did that made you feel loved or special, or at least it was an intentional 30 seconds where you were focusing on the emotions that you want to feel and giving yourself love, right? So what are some of these things that we can start to do to move towards those emotions? Well, for the Instant Pot example, it would be manifesting. Alex, for you, manifesting the money if you didn't feel like you had the money. Alex, for you, it would be that maybe you go to yoga. Maybe you journal, but you don't have to journal every day if that's not what feels good for you, right? Like, just do the things that feel good as you start to then disprove your subconscious or the limiting beliefs that says you can't have it, right? And then there's this double layer to what your example as well, which is that then as you feel really lovable, then and you love yourself and you're like, I'm fucking amazing, like these are the things that are wonderful about me, and because I think I'm wonderful, I do things for myself every single day, then the feelings of, oh, I have this autoimmune disease and I have this anxiety kind of start to go away, right? And you start to crowd out these feelings of, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy of love, with massive freaking love and attention towards yourself, that then, it starts to shift. And the shift eventually becomes, I am worthy of love, and I'm deserving of love, and I can feel love, right? So I want you to brainstorm, again, people listening live or listening to the recording, some of these little action items that you can take that are disproving the why you'll never have it, or why you think you'll never have it. And I want you to write down or say to yourself, that's not true, and then start to think about the actions you can take that will lead you towards that desired emotion that maybe comes through a thing, right? And I want you to do one of those things on your list right away. Like tonight, if you can. I know it's a little bit later for everyone in Eastern time zone, but I want you to do one thing right away. Maybe it's tomorrow. I would say tonight or tomorrow, to really solidify that and get it working, and then ride that wave, ride that momentum forward. So Alex, maybe, I don't know what time zone you're on, but if it's 9:19 for you, maybe you're not going to take a bath tonight and you already cooked a special meal, you cooked dinner, right? But maybe you do write down a sentence or a paragraph in your journal before you go to bed tonight. Maybe it's a mantra, maybe it's, I'm worthy of feeling loved, I love myself. These are the reasons, the things I think are beautiful about me. This is why I love myself, right? And that can be hard, right? So let's pick one small thing we can do right away. And maybe you're looking at this and you're still feeling like this is a lot to do on your own. And it can feel heavy. It can feel like it's a lot to do on your own. So my next step in this process for you is to ask yourself, who can support me? Who can support me? Okay, so what does your current team look like, right? When we're talking about autoimmune healing, who does your current team look like? Who makes up your team? Do you have a naturopath and an herbalist and a nutritionist and a massage therapist? Do you just have a MD doctor and a chiropractor? Do you have an energy healer and a psychic and a therapist? Like, who are your people, right? Who's your squad? And who are your squad goals? Like, who are the people that you would love to have in your circle? What did I call it? Like your sacred circle when we were talking about book club earlier, right? So what does your team look like? Who would you add to that? Who do you feel like is missing? And sometimes it's hard to think about who's missing. So think about what part of you is missing, like what part of you doesn't feel alive or whole or nourished or completely healthy, and what type of practitioner maybe could fill that space. Not that they are healing you, but that they are giving you the tools and holding you accountable and supporting you and giving you knowledge and pathways forward for you to then heal yourself, right? So I would ask, what does my team, what does my squad look like? Who would I add to that team? And then who isn't maybe helping? Because we always have to think about that too. Maybe you've been working with someone for a year and you reflect on it tonight and you're like, you know what? I don't think that this person's actually helping me in the way that I anticipated that they would help me. So maybe you make some alterations there as well, where you're just looking at your support team. It doesn't have to be all like certified practitioners or people with degrees, right? Your support team might also include your sister or your best friend or your mom as somebody who is just either holding you accountable or someone you can call at any time of day to talk about the things you're experiencing with your autoimmune disease. And, have a little bit of a bitch fest every once in a while, right? And let it get out, right? So who would you add and who isn't helping, and how can you tailor your support team and make it #squad goals, right? And so my action step for you in this part is to connect with the people that you feel like maybe you want to add, and then to also take a really hard look at the people that you are working with and say, okay, who isn't helping, right? So you can do one thing on your own right here, right now, tonight or tomorrow, but then you can also look at the bigger picture and try to figure out, okay, how can I support myself even more by adding or subtracting from my support team, okay? If we are messy on the inside and not taking care of the emotional turmoil that goes inside our bodies, right? Then we are also messy on the outside, right? We might manifest that in a physical symptom, but if we're not taking care of the inside, then the outside is going to be reflective of that. When you are clear internally, right? When we get clear, when we actually write down some of the answers to these questions and don't just listen to Sarah talk, then you get more clear. And when you get clear, you are able to take action and then be able to have that clarity both internally and externally, right? So getting clear inside, doing some of the back end work so that then you can take that clarity and make it external as well, so that some of your symptoms are either decreased, or you feel like you have a really clear path forward, or you feel really supported, or you're just starting to wake up and feel better, more peaceful, calm, energized, happy, joyful. Like, what are the things that you want in your life, and how can we get you there, right? So you have this path, and you have one action step to take and a little bit of a way forward here, okay? So now I want you to just go back to that list of what you want, right? What you desire. What are the things that you want in your life? Think about, if you were to create a vision board, what would be on your vision board? What are the things you truly desire in your life? And how do you want to feel from receiving them, right? So I'm gonna go back to my farm and my cute little farmhouse and my goats and my chickens and maybe like a little pond and a place that feels like a sanctuary for me, where I feel energized and safe and comforted and really at home, okay? So this is something that I truly crave in my life, and it's gonna make me feel healthy, and it's gonna make me feel alive, and some of the other things I just mentioned, right? So what is that for you? What are some of the bigger things? Like, what would you put on your vision board if you were to create a vision board right now? Maybe you would want to take a vacation. Maybe you want to travel somewhere. Maybe you want to have just a sacred space inside your home that is all yours. Maybe you want a clawfoot bathtub. Maybe you want money to be able to pay for your dream team of doctors and health practitioners, right? What are the things that you really want in your life? And again, we want them not because I want a clawfoot bathtub, but because having a clawfoot bathtub would make me feel like luxurious, and I freaking love baths. It's like my special me time. So it's like amplifying the self-care and making me feel loved, and an opportunity to love myself, right? So there's an emotion behind that thing that I want, okay? So I want you to think about what you want, what you desire, and for just, let's put a time on it. Let's do 3 minutes, okay? I'm gonna pull up my Spotify, and I am gonna play a little music. And for these 3, we'll just go for the length of one song. So I'll try to find a song that's about 3 minutes. I want you to close your eyes and sit in a meditative seat, or just lay down. And I want you to visualize very specifically what these things would look like in your life as if you already had them, okay? So I'm gonna guide you through this a little bit. Let's see what this song's like. Good? Except for the song's 23 minutes long, so I'll just stop it in about 3 minutes as we listen to some Om chants. Om is our universal sound. Good vibrations here, okay? So sit in a meditative seat. I want you to place your palms facing up on your thighs, ready to receive all that you desire. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale and exhale. Take deep, mindful belly breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Soften your shoulders down. Maybe take some kinks out of your neck. And with your eyes closed, I want you to draw this picture of all of your desires. And I want you to get specific here. What does it feel like to have these things? To go on that vacation, to have the money, to have the dream home. What emotions does this evoke in your body? And I want you to tap into all of your senses. So how does it smell? Maybe you're at the beach and you can smell the salt water. Or you smell the cash in your hand. Or you smell the food cooking in the Instant Pot. But how does it smell for you? And who's with you? Are you alone? Are you surrounded by your family, friends, mentors, coworkers? Who's there with you? And then start to seek the colors. What does it look like? What colors surround you? Maybe the color of the sky, color of the ground, color of the walls that you're in, the color of the green cash or the silver Instant Pot. What colors surround you? What is the weather like? Is the sun shining? Is it raining? Maybe there's an awesome thunderstorm. Is it cold or warm outside? And with this thing that you desire in front of you, wherever you are, how does it change your day-to-day life? What would you do differently now that you have this thing or this emotion that you craved? How would you change? What would you do differently? What are the sounds, the noises that surround you? What does it sound like? Do you hear the wind? Maybe the waves? Maybe you hear the chickens? Maybe you hear someone's voice and words that come out of their mouth. You got the job, you got the raise. What do you hear around you? And then what do you say? How do you react? How does this feel inside your body, and what do you say about it? Thank you. I love you. I'm so excited. I feel wonderful. I feel so grateful. I feel of high service. I feel like my dreams have come true. What would you say? And what are the deep emotions that stir up into your soul as you receive through your hands all of that which you desire? Keep visualizing it in your mind's eye, as specific as you can be, as if it's already there in front of you. And how does this feel? What emotions come up, bubble up into your heart, into your throat, into your mouth, into your third eye, your crown? How does all of this feel? Continue to hold that picture in your mind's eye. And take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, exhale. Breathe in, feeling this visualization in your body. Exhale as you become an energetic match for all that is. Breathe in. Spreading, sharing this energy into the cosmos, all that surrounds you. Exhale. And bring your hands to heart center, thumbs to the space between your heart, your chest. And bow your gaze down towards your thumbs. Divine, universe, spirit, angels, God, whatever you want to fill in the blank with. We wish for this or something better. And so it is. You can release your hands down and open your eyes. We went for 6 minutes, but we did some good work there and really started to visualize some of these desires as if they're already yours, because they are. Okay, so I want you to go back and look at some of the notes that you took, and maybe you can expand on some of these things, but your homework for this week is to take one of those things, put it into action, and then start to just edit your support team. What do you need more of? What do you need less of? And as you all know, I have several different offers through Autoimmune Tribe right now. My newest offer is healing sessions. So maybe you need that different perspective, that shift, that different person that maybe can give you a different perspective on what you're doing, right? So my healing sessions are 1 hour long, and right now for the next 7 days, the end of July, if you book a session anytime in July or August and use the code JULYLOVE, you get $10 off your first session, and I'd love to work with you and just see if this is something that resonates with you. Does it make you feel more alive? And how can we start to pull out some of those core desired emotions so that you are living in a way that calls these things into your life, that you are an energetic match for all of your desires, okay? I love you all so much. Thanks for hanging out with me this Monday night. We'll be back to Sundays soon. July has just been crazy. So I hope you guys have a really good week, and thank you for starting it off with me. I'll talk to you soon. Good night.